Welcome. A family was camping. A long time ago, children were small. And there was a dog barking, like over there. And I felt annoyed by this dog. So I decided to use my superior intellect to talk the dog out of barking. And so I'm kind of having this conversation with the dog, and I'm going, rah, 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 rah. You know how stupid you sound? And stuff like that. Really, really effective, And it wasn't long before I feel this little tug on my sleeve, just a little tug, just a little. And there's daughter. And she looks at me and she says, Dad, you're arguing with a dog and you're losing. So there's this noticing moment, like I notice, oh, Joseph, you're arguing with a dog. By the way, you're losing. I had this idea that I could outsmart the dog. That didn't work because the idea is not working. So I'd like to show you a little model here. This is a very little model. It has only 3 words in it. And what was I doing? The behavior, the actions, what I was doing in the middle was this little banter with the dog. And what were the results I was getting? People were going like, Dad. And the dog kept barking. I just kept on doing that because I thought it would work. That's how we function as human beings. The beliefs, this word on the top, we believe that we're doing something that will work. So we do certain things, behavior, actions, and we get certain results. This was not happening. So, where do we live most of our lives? Most of us live our lives fiddling back and forth between actions and results. Stop doing that. Look what's happening. Do something different. You've got to change your actions. These are things that we're just imbued with all the way from kindergarten, school, etc., etc. Go to work. What are they saying? Stop doing that is the standard approach. So we try to fix things and make things better. Anybody try to lose weight, quit smoking, or do something else like that? Come on, people. It's not the action that's hard to understand. It's the action that's hard to sustain. We've got to go to the belief and say, what is it that I believe so strongly and so deeply that I continue to keep doing this? Or 300 variations of this, convincing myself it's different. I'm working with a CEO, coaching him. We're going along a few weeks. And then one day he gets on the call and he's not good. Like he's just coaching by phone, right? He's not good. And I said, so CEO, what's going on? He says, got a board meeting coming up. And he says, well, I got this one board member who attacks me. Really? He says, yeah, he gets on my case. He's the guy with the finger that punches the paper on the table. He's like that. And he just really just goes after me. Like I feel like I'm defending myself all the time. Okay. So I had remembered he used the word defending multiple times. And I said, I read something that I want to share with you. Okay. What if is very operative. It's a very good entry to a situation like this or many situations. What if you were only attacked when you defend yourself? We talked about this. What if you're only attacked when you defend yourself? Well, I could tell by strange silence on the phone that he was thinking about that. We talked a little further, got off the call, board meeting was a few days later. I happened to be in the same city on that day. It just turned out. He said, Joseph, come on. This is fate. You've got to come to the board meeting. So I went. I'm sitting beside CEO. He's on my right. And he nudges me, points to a certain board member. Oh, that's the one. Okay. Chairman of the board starts the meeting, hands out the minutes, they do the agenda, the usual things, and then we start doing the business of the meeting. Well, sure enough, the attacker. Whoa, holy cow. And the finger in the paper, yeah, he actually did that. He actually did that. What's happening with my colleague here and my client, the CEO? Tension, leaning forward, eyes like slits, flushed skin, and he's about to go across the table to defend himself. Well, we're sitting beside each other, so I kind of tapped him with my foot, kicked him in the ankle. And he looks at me like, what are you doing? And I smile, and he goes, he released his body, he leaned back, he opened his eyes, and he started to respond in a businesslike manner that was not defending, that was simply being the CEO. I swear, I was there. Within 2 minutes, the attacker had run out of gas. What was happening here is there was a belief in the CEO that I must defend myself in order to do my job, look competent, feel good about myself, be a man, whatever it was. He believed that he had to defend himself. And when he stopped defending, it's like I stopped negotiating and yelling at the dog. The dog stopped barking. The attacker stopped attacking. And the whole room just went, oh. Just peace had returned. Cool thing. I worked with this gentleman for some time. Months and months later, many board meetings later, the attacker never returned to the attack. Didn't. We had changed a belief in the CEO. He changed his actions, which had a feedback to this other person. He didn't have anybody to fight with, so he stopped fighting. And you know what? I'm guessing he might not even know to this day. There's a level of noticing that needs to be spelled this way. We need to notice this way. CEO had an aha moment. He had a wow, look what just happened. Look what I just did. Look at the result I got. Because when we simply notice, that's good. It's helpful. But when I notice with a K, something inside shifts me. Something inside goes like, I now know something, and I will know it forever, and it will change everything. Because I'm increasing my self-awareness. When we notice with a K, what we're doing is increasing self-awareness. Why? Why do we bother? Increasing self-awareness. Just think about that. When I have greater self-awareness, I have more clarity, and I have more capacity. Because all this is settled down. So I have more clarity. I make better decisions because I know more about me. When I make better decisions, I'm more likely to implement them. I have more willingness to do the right thing. And when I consistently do the right thing for me, I'm more successful. Hello, and I'm happier. We want to be happier. So we got the little waterfall. Increase the self-awareness, better decisions, more success, happiness comes. Noticing with a K is one of the doorways. It's a very effective doorway to getting that increase in self-awareness to arise. I'm working with a man. very successful in business, and going through a nasty divorce. Unfortunately. And he's saying to me, he said, Joseph, we're going into the settlement meeting. Now, this is the one where the lawyers come and the two spouses come and they sort things out and decide who gets what and how much and, all of that kind of stuff. Very personal, difficult material to deal with. And that was coming, and he, as a personality, he considered himself to be sensitive and emotional and expressive. And he said that people would label him and his ex, his wife, very logical, left brain, get it done now, big hurry. So there was conflict there, and he had a hard time with that. So he said, I can't be myself, my emotionally expressive self, and be my logical self. Because he was in the financial sector, he was very logical, very capable. He could handle all kinds of logical things, and he could make good decisions. But when he got accused of this, or when he felt he did, this word can't crept into his head. So he had a belief, I can't. So I asked him, I said, so if you were going to have this meeting, and if you had the control of how it was going to go, how would you like to start? I said, well, that's why my habit is I like to write things down. And I like to speak with my clients and my financial persona when I'm wearing my business hat. So I write down what they want, and I back and forth with them, make sure I get it right, and I ask them, is that correct? And then they say yes, and then we proceed. He says, well, let's pretend that you could get that to happen with your ex. That you could listen to her, and you could write down what she's asking for, and that you could make sure that it was right, and then you could proceed. What would be the next step? I said, well, it's not actually a next step. It's kind of like the atmosphere. He says, I like to be polite. I like to be civil. I like things to be peaceful and cooperative. I says, okay, so what other kinds of words do you need besides the words of what you want? And he says, well, please and thank you would be good, and yes is always helpful. Worked with him for another 15 or 20 minutes, and he came up with this idea. He said, I'm going to have a pad of paper in front of me on the desk, and I'm going to have written at the top, yes. What I understand you want is, and it's written down. I've written it down. Thank you. Watch this. He was brilliant. What's next on your list? It went swimmingly. It turned out that he wasn't writing it for himself, although he thought he was. He was writing it for her. She never believed he would do anything because she thought he'd get too emotional. But once she saw that he had written it down and that he had said, thank you, we're done. What's next? Everything went fine. And he was allowed to be emotional for the items that were being settled in the settlement, be himself, and be logical and firm, and take the things away to deliberate later. He gave her enough closure, and he got enough closure. The belief had to change before the action changed, the writing, and the thank you, and the yes. So the result changed. All rolled together. The whole business of change is the business of life. When we are going along and we're in this, back to the slide here, we're in this sort of action results loop. When we're at action, result, Billy comes home with a bad report from the teacher, and the parents say, change your behavior. We want Billy's actions to change. Billy has no idea what the problem is. Yes, Mom, yes, Dad, and guess what? This is Billy's teacher calling, and there it is. We need to find out what Billy believes, otherwise Billy's going to keep doing what he's been doing. You know the old saw, keep doing what you've always done, you're going to get what you always got. including the call from the principal, or the tug on the sleeve that says you're losing an argument with the dog. We don't want those. What I encourage you to do is to really pay attention to what you believe, because most of us live in the actions and results arena. At the office, here's the deal. Here's the whole noticing thing. Noticing is internal, and it has the capacity to change my thinking in a way that could and probably will change my life. I noticed that that black car, you know, it's actually dark blue. That's noticing. I noticed the car is not the color I thought it was. But I'm not sure it has much capacity to change my life. We're looking for these guys. We're looking for these guys. These are the ones where we kind of go, oh my God. Usually followed by LOL. Because we are so funny. We are so funny. My wish for you is that you take care of the beliefs. Look at the beliefs. You might want to sit down, be ready to laugh. Some of the beliefs we carry along are just too much. I have a special app offer for you. Have a look at the link in the bottom of the screen here. In there is one method, one tool to help you notice yourself better. And the notice I refer to is that one. And I spell it that way to help you remember it. Notice. I thank you for your attention. It's been a real pleasure. And notice on. Take care.